Hi everyone. I feel like I haven't been on here for so many days. Well, you know what it is? I feel like I just haven't recorded in front of the camera in so many days. And it's been a while because the last few videos I've done, I haven't been like showing myself. So every time I do that and every time I come back, it feels weird. And also, I haven't done anything for a few days because honestly, just being like cooped up and just this social distancing and all, it's so draining. And it's strange because I'm very introverted, so the fact that this is just so draining on me, it's I hate it. I hate feeling like, when I go outside, I have to be like, with the mask, with the gloves. I put sunglasses on too, and it's just like my whole head feels like it's covered, and I feel like I have a hard time breathing with the mask on. It just drives me crazy. Just this feeling of things not being normal has been really getting me kind of depressed. So I haven't really been feeling like up to being on here like that. But one of the reasons why I decided to talk about this is because I kind of feel like I have a lot in common with this kid. And I'm talking about Bad Baby. First and foremost, I think she's problematic, okay? There's the attitude with her that I feel like she's just so. It is like a. I know what I'm about to say, people might be surprised because of some of the things that I talk about on this channel. So they might be surprised about what I am going to say, this first part, but then there's going to be more to it. So, but she does seem like a caricature of a black woman, of the negative stereotypes of somebody from the hood who is a black American woman, right? I see that. And I get when people say that because as somebody from the hood myself who can probably pass as this little girl's I don't know, aunt, relative, maybe even mother, because I think she's young enough to be my child. And I see her, and I see I know that she had a certain upbringing, and when she talks about her upbringing and the things that she's seen, the people that she's been around, I can relate to a certain extent. Okay. But the thing is I even as somebody that grew up in that environment, the way her behavior is so excessive. It's like even the people that did kind of behave that way, it just it almost seems like it's so extra. It's so much more extra than actual hood people. It's not saying that there's not people in the hood that don't kind of act like that, so because there is, but it just seems like it's so excessive. And I feel like that tends to happen with people who are fairer skinned, who don't necessarily fit in and look like everybody else in the environment. So it's like they almost tend to overcompensate for how they behave in order to kind of fit in with everybody in the environment. So it does kind of, that's to me why, or one of the main reasons why she's on the problematic side. However, I'm gonna say this part, and this is the part that people aren't gonna like. I see that she is a target. People target the hell out of this kid. Similar to the way people target me on here, this is the way this girl gets targeted. She gets accused of being all types of. I really do not think this girl is racist. I think that she is a kid. I think that she's kind of living up to this, I guess a stereotype of what she believes it's a product of her environment, right? She's excessive, but I do believe it is a product of the environment to a degree. However, the fact that people are calling her all types of racist just because of a picture that she did where she had on a heavy foundation, and when I watched her in her video, because I really don't know too much about her, but I know some, and she was basically explaining that it was a makeup artist that did her makeup. She was in some sort of lighting and it made her look a little more tan. To me, if anything, she isn't blackfishing. To me, it's Latina fishing. Because the reality is, if she really looked like how she looked in the after pictures in real life, people would be telling her that she's anything but black in real life. So people do have to stop with this selective outrage, and that's the part that I'm going to get into now. So it's definitely a selective outrage with this part. This is the part where people are probably going to be like, "Uh-oh, this is the part that I don't agree with of this video." And it's like, she, first of all she did was take a, it's like she's literally like 2 shades darker than maybe what she naturally is. Basically, like her after picture, like when I go to the beach in the summer, that's what I end up looking like that after picture of her. Like that's how my skin turns in the summer when I actually tan, because I can get a tan regardless of what people might think on here. I can tan, and when I do get a tan, that's like the color that I become. It's kind of like a golden, like a light golden color. And I can get that shade, and I have a pretty good feeling that girl probably can get that shade too, maybe. I think she might be a little bit lighter than I am. But the thing is like, it's so strange because I know that if she really looked like the after picture, ain't nobody gonna be telling her that she's fishing of any sort, and ain't nobody gonna say that she basically looks like a black woman. Sort of can pass as a mixed person, and to me, again, I go back to it being Latino fishing, because if I were to straighten my hair, and if it was the summertime, and if I did a picture with whatever face that she had, where I guess she's trying to, like, I guess it was kind of like a mean mug, I don't know, whatever facial expression that she did, that's how I would have looked in the summertime. Right? If I had to straighten my hair, I get a regular tan, I make that face, and I take a picture, that's basically how somebody like me who is a Latin person, how I would look, right? So like, I think that people are kind of like taking this and they take everything that she does, and they're really like, it's more than excessive at this point. And the double standards with people like her, it really does kind of, it gets on my nerves, because you have like your John B's from back in the day. Nobody did this type of stuff to John B. Who else was it? You had Snow. You had, oh God, Robin Thicke. Every time I think of Robin Thicke, I think of his dad. I think of Alan Thicke, right? I think it's Alan Thicke. Robin Thicke. I can't stand Robin Thicke. Oh God, I cannot stand him. Justin Timberlake is another one. There's no outrage for these guys. Who's the other guy? I feel like I'm missing a guy. Bubba Sparks? Is it Bubba Sparks? There's like a rapper guy, Bubba Sparks. Eminem, of course. Right? So you got all these white dudes, and I'm naming white dudes because, these white dudes, that's who really I'm focusing on, because this girl is a white kid. And nobody has this type of outrage for these dudes. If anything, these dudes will like praise, even like back in the day, like, oh my God, especially like John B. or like Justin Timberlake, Robin Thicke. These girls are like kissing these guys' asses, like, ugh. And even guys didn't like, I didn't really see guys ever complain about these guys. If anything, they were just like always so, accepted. And you see them on interviews, and the way that they talk sometimes, it's like with this, a certain type of accent, and the way that they carry themselves, it's just a little excessive. It's like, oh God, But nobody ever says anything to those types of dudes. And in a way, a lot of this stuff really reflects how life is within these neighborhoods, because the reality is, within these neighborhoods, these guys, like the guys that are like these white guys, like, these hood white dudes or whatever, nobody does anything to them. Nobody really bothers them like that. Occasionally they do, but it's really the girls that get it really bad, and especially the ones that act like real, crazy. I think that was one of the things that saved me, because I never acted that way. Like, I can't. Like, that's just not my personality, regardless of where I grew up. I think that, again, she's really excessive. But, I do see the double standards when it comes to how she's treated and how these guys are treated. And basically, like, there's no comparison. Who's the other one? Post Malone. Look at Post Malone. Right? Post Malone is another good example. So, yeah, Post Malone is like a recent, like, white kid when he has all these tattoos on his face. And I've seen a video of him from years ago singing, oh God, I forgot the dude's name, but it's an old an old country song, and he did a good job. I honestly don't, I think he's a decent artist. I'm not gonna lie, but there is the double standard there for people like your Post Malones and your Bad Babies. It's extreme. So, and then the other thing is like with the way like she does her hair, and I think people were picking on her with how she does her hair, and her hair is basically like this is my hair. Her hair and my hair is like practically the same, right? And so it's so weird because when I heard her talking about her hair, there's always this like struggle with people who are like fair skinned and we have hair like this, right? Because on the one hand, like I've said to many people before, growing up around a lot of white people, my whole life, I was always, it was always like frowned upon. Like my hair was always frowned upon, especially by white folks. So it was kind of like from them, it was like, oh, why don't you fix your hair straight? That's the main thing. Fix your hair straight. And it was always those words. So it was always like this thing where, like our hair is like demonized, right? And then this girl, fine, she's Italian. She's not, she's not a Latina like myself. She's not mixed race like myself. But her and I still do have similar hair. So she might have went through the same thing whenever she was around her white relatives, and they might have told her stuff about her hair being curly. And then now she embraces it, and then she's getting told by the opposite side that she's trying to be something that she's not because of her curly hair. Like her hair is naturally curly. There are white people with curly hair. I had an aunt, may she rest in peace, who was Irish and Italian, and her hair was way tighter in curls than mine. So, and that was her hair. She always wore her hair back in a ponytail. She never left it out. And I think even she had her own types of senses of insecurities with her hair. But she always, wore her hair back all the time. And so it's always funny where, you have one group of people where there's this thing where it's like your hair is quote unquote good hair, but then simultaneously being like a certain culture. But if your hair's naturally that way, how are you trying to be like anything? How would I be trying to be like anything with leaving my hair just the way it is? I'm not like doing anything to it. If anything, it's a little bit flatter right now because it's on the longer side and it's slightly damp. This is my hair. So it's when she mentioned the hair part, I did sort of like sympathize with her, and I think she was like, even at one point she had went to like the bathroom just like to prove like her hair was curly, and she was wetting her curls like underneath, and she was like yanking it and saying that it was her hair. She was like pulling at her scalp, and you saw like her hair looked like she was about to rip it out of her scalp. So I guess she was wearing a hair on her head that was just basically more of her hair. So it was like a weave or a wig of some sort or whatever that was basically exactly like her curl pattern, but it just made it look thicker or something. I don't know. So yeah, I think that people have like a real outrage against this girl, and I've seen a lot of people really complain about her. So, and again, while I do find her to be problematic, I still also find her to be just the fact that people take us, I think she's 16 or something. People take her so seriously. 16, 17, 18. I don't even know if she's 9, whatever, however old she is. The fact that people just take her so seriously and whatever that she does so seriously to the point that it gets them so angry is the part that I find really strange. But again, I still do find her behavior problematic because in a way, she's more representative of somebody like myself who grew up in the same type of environment as her, and she's kind of behaving so excessive, I guess, so much to an excessive stereotype that it can, to some people, it may come across as fake, right? So for me, that's the problem that I have with this girl. But at the same time, it's nothing to the degree that other people do. And I think that people take her way too seriously. And that's the other thing, like, why take somebody like her so seriously, and then who is it that's making her famous? It's like, who are her biggest supporters? That's the other thing that you have to think about, because not one person in my family that I know supports that girl. I don't know anybody in my personal life that supports Bad Baby. Like, we don't really know nothing about her other than she was on an episode of Dr. Phil saying "Cash Me Outside, how about that?" or something to that degree several years ago, right? Like that's really the extent that I know of her. That and the recent video clip that I saw of her, because I've seen a few people talking about her, and I think it was Christina that posted on her community feed. She posted something on it, but I didn't comment because I felt like a lot of people within her comments, like her community feed in the comments, were kind of saying things similar to what I was saying, to what I'm saying right now. So it was just kind of like, I really don't have anything contrarian to say. I also believe that she's trying to look mixed, if anything, not trying to look black, right? Mixed, or if anything, looks like a freaking Latin person, or pass as just your next Puerto Rican that you see in the hood, right? Yeah, that's it really. Who supports this? Does anybody, can somebody leave like a comment in the comment section and tell me like if they actually know people that support this girl, like personally? Because like I'm assuming like online, she, of course she has followers, but like I don't know anybody personally that supports her at all. So every time I see her, I'm like, she is famous, but like who's who's really making her famous? Like who is it? Is it these executives at the top that saw her and they got her and they made her famous, or does she actually have like genuine supporters out there of, I guess, is it her music? Does she have music? See what I mean? I don't know enough about her. I don't know. Something about her and Kodak Black several years ago, but I don't know what it's about. Like I don't remember. I think she was underage and he hit on her or something. So, something like that. Did something like that happen? I'm getting old, people. I really am. I don't know. I swear to God, I could be her mother. It probably looks like I could be her mother. Yeah. I think that's it, though. I think that's it. But yeah, just don't take these people that seriously. God, like why? What's the big deal? What's the big deal? You know, you got people that are like trying to get her to just like stop. I guess they just don't want her to be famous anymore or something. I don't know. It's just like, somebody's supporting her. Somebody is supporting her. And there's got to be a good amount of people supporting her for her to still be relevant to a degree, right? So, and I can't say that I know enough about her to be like, people have to stop supporting her. So I'm not going to go that far. You know what I mean? Maybe she is good at whatever she does. I definitely don't think that she's a racist, though. I mean, that's the part that, when she said how people were calling her that, and that there's people out there that are saying this about her, and when she wants people who are higher up to hire her for certain things or to sign her for certain things or whatnot, that they're just going to see these articles and these posts about her, and they're not going to question those things. They're not going to go and question anything, the sources. They're just going to believe what they see, and that's it. And I was like, yeah, I sympathize to that. Really, I really do agree with that, because that's what I'm going through right now on this platform. It's like you're being accused of something. People are just going to see that. They're not going to come to your platform and kind of like get a gauge of you. They're just going to see that, go by that, and run with it. So as opposed to like looking into it, most people are just going to run with it. And the people that do those types of things do it on purpose to destroy somebody's credibility, and they do it on purpose. So, I do feel for her in that regard. And even I had somebody tell me, oh, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. This is not a joke, because if that affects me in my real life, you're basically trying to destroy my life just over assumptions about me. And that's pretty fucked up. And that's basically what's happening to this girl too. But I think that she has a big enough fan base for her to come out okay. I'm not a famous person, so I gotta work a whole lot harder on that. And all these accusations made against me. Anyhow. So I'm gonna go for now. I hope that whoever does come to my channel, that you guys do see the truth in me, and you do see me for who I am, and that you're not believing the stuff that's being spread about me, because that's that might be something that can really be harmful for me in the future. And the fact that there's people out there that really could care less about that, and they really like are just okay with destroying my life, or potentially destroying my life, or having a hand in potentially destroying my life. That's pretty cruel. That is pretty cruel. So, I do take these things seriously, because on the one hand, they try to make it seem like it's a joke. And then on the other hand, there's no joke with that, because they're not getting rid of that. And they're not gonna clean that up and be like, no, this person is not a bad person. They're just trying to tarnish my reputation as much as they possibly can for their own agendas. So hopefully the people that come to my channel can see through that BS. And hopefully the people that see what Bad Baby is going through, that they could see, that she's going through BS too, just because of a fucking hairstyle, and just because somebody put some crazy makeup on, and she defended herself because people were calling her names about that. So I think that she has every right to defend herself. I'll agree with her on that. How she does it, how she goes about it, that's her. She's young. I'll let her be young. If she's cursing it like a sailor and she's getting pissed off at people because of that, good for her. I think that's when you're really drawing the line. Now that's really stupid. So she's defending herself. I think she has every right to defend herself in any way that she wants to. And people are saying that she's, saying the stuff that she's saying just because of, just to try to get, women angry. No. She's defending herself because it was women attacking her of something that she didn't do, that she wasn't trying to do. So she was just defending herself. So I don't see any problem with her defending herself at all. I'm going to defend myself too when people come after me and my credibility and my name, and they try to tarnish me. I'm going to defend myself too. There's no problem with that. I see no problem with that at all. So kudos to her for that. Kudos to her for always defending herself. So I give her a lot of props for that. And she don't back down for shit for what it seems like. So I give her a lot of credit for that. That's really cool about her. But I'm gonna go for now, and I guess I will see you guys in my next video. I hope that you all are safe and taking care of yourself, and that's it. Bye guys.